I have played Sins of a Solar Empire 2, and I am poorer for it. This sequel is extremely similar to the original from 2008, with nicer graphics and some needed engine improvements, as well as some of the content from its 2012 Rebellion expansion. However, its recent stealth launch out of early access on the Epic Games Store feels less complete than many games when they launch into early access. Expanding my empire, conquering planets, and watching my fleets do battle with rivals did grow on me a bit once I eventually taught myself its ins and outs. But getting to that point was so rough that any joy was often sucked out like atmosphere through a hull breach. I've played Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion and a lot of other 4X and real-time strategy games in my time, but I still felt completely lost after jumping into Sins 2. There are no tutorials for this enormously complex game, and the in-game instructions you do get for things like climbing the research tree often send you on wild goose chases through the confusing interface. Between that, the bugs, a lack of a server browser, and more, it clearly isn't finished. That's particularly odd because all the technical preview caveats it launched with back in 2022 were recently removed with little fanfare. A major patch with significant new features will apparently arrive alongside its Steam launch in August, including a third race that's already inaccurately listed as playable on the Epic Store page, but it feels fairly misleading in the meantime. Sins 2 is about as bare bones as can be right now. It took me and a fellow 4X vet several hours of fumbling through AI games to nail down how one of the two human factions even worked, and in-game advice will sometimes actively lead you astray. Once, when I was trying to build something I had insufficient research points for as the alien Visari race, I was told to construct a structure to fix the problem instead of buying the research points, which is the right answer.
Build more orbital labs.
But you'd never know that unless you happen to mouse over the right button instead of doing what you're told. That's a problem because you'll spend a lot of time in menus waiting for the thing you're researching or the ship you're building to complete. Managing an efficient build order offers satisfying challenges, but those challenges should be about making interesting choices instead of figuring out how to make them in the first place.
Begin jump sequence.
That said, I did eventually discover some nice quality of life additions. For example, if you want to build or research something but don't have the prerequisites, the Intelligent Construction System will queue up all the things you need in order and let you check their progress in real time. The new Empire Management screen also lets you track everything from one convenient page, which beats the heck out of clicking all around a star system. These are smart additions that make Sins 2 easier and more engaging, once you figure them out. When it comes to space combat, you mostly build big fleets and throw them at your opponent, then watch them duke it out in entertainingly flashy battles. Smaller ships dart nimbly around, and larger ships are loaded with gun turrets that swivel to track targets. Long-range missiles can be intercepted by point defenses, or blocked by other ships before they hit something expensive, which is a nice nibble of tactical depth for those looking to micro something. Battles can look pretty cool when you're zoomed in, too, but early skirmishes with basic units are generally pretty dull. Sins 2 saves most of the fun stuff for the late game. At the top of the warfare tech tree sits the Titan, an enormous, faction-specific behemoth that can take on entire fleets by itself. In addition, there's stuff like the human's Novolith cannon, which can shoot massive, literally world-ending shells across the solar system, and take out enemy planets in one hit. Then, you've got the Visari's Orculus starbase, which is essentially just a bigger, angrier version of the Cylon base star from Battlestar Galactica. Armed to the absolute teeth and containing several support fighters, it's all but unstoppable by conventional weapons and, once you upgrade it, can jump to other planets like a spaceship. Nasty. The two current races are fairly different from one another. That can range from simple things like unique ships and structures, to the Human Trader Emergency Coalition, or TEC for short, needing credits to manage its economy and build things, while the super advanced alien Visari often don't. The new Empire system bonuses also add to this. The TEC's trade port structures return here, and now allow you to allocate points to boost your resource production on the fly. The Visari, meanwhile, can build all new phase resonators that let you allocate points to upgrade ships, their research rate, and so on. I love these additions. They add spice to each race's already distinct flavor, while offering interesting strategic choices that allow you to build your economy or military in cool, unique ways. Each race has 2 factions, which provides a lot of welcome variety to suit different playstyles. The Loyalist TEC, for instance, are more defensive, gaining access to planetary garrisons that produce ships automatically. Those ships don't take up population cap, but have limited range. They can also build 2 starbases around a planet instead of 1, which can make conquering their systems an especially difficult nut to crack. The TEC Rebels, however, are much more about offense. They get the aforementioned planet-destroying Novolith cannon, the ability to ally with pirate factions, and boosts like economic bonuses for going on the attack. The Visari are similarly divided, with the Exodus faction happy to force humans into labor camps and strip mine the cores of planets, while the Alliance is all about fostering cooperation and trade. I was most fond of the TEC Rebels because I liked their bonuses and tend to prefer an aggressive playstyle. Like any successful empire, you have to expand or you'll eventually get overwhelmed. Of course, when I needed to hold out long enough so my teammate could provide support, those Loyalist garrisons sure did come in handy. Most of your map generation options are carried over from the original, but one cool addition in Sins 2 are that planets and other astral bodies rotate around stars, which can open up new phase lanes between them when they get close enough. It can take hours for rotations to sync up in a way that truly matters, and on smaller maps it might never happen at all. But when the stars literally align, it can let you hit an enemy with a satisfying surprise attack on a world they thought was protected. That all might sound exciting, but man, so many things just feel incomplete or underbaked. Take the minor factions, for instance, which are small AI players who don't expand. You can gain favor with them by spending influence points, but being buddy-buddy doesn't really do anything aside from getting you some largely situational abilities and making it so that faction isn't actively hostile, sometimes.
Pirate raiders approach one of our planets.
Then there are the bugs. I've already mentioned misleading instructions, but I also panicked after incorrect notifications tell me an enemy conquered one of my planets, only to realize, no, it was me who conquered their planet, actually. Once, I started the team game with a friend where we were clearly meant to be allied, only to be told we weren't once we got into the match, forcing us to fix it in-game. There are also entire menu options grayed out that control things like orbiting planet speed, or research rates, or ship build rates when you try to adjust pre-game settings that just aren't available. You know, things you might like some say in when you're setting up a match. There's a tooltip telling you that these options are disabled as they collect feedback, which is fair, but these limitations just drive home how unfinished everything is. Look, when Sins 2 works, it really works. There's a lot of nuance when it comes to choosing your upgrade paths, deciding which structures to build on your planets, how to spend each planet's limited orbital slots, and constructing your fleets. The right decision at the right time can make all the difference to your empire a dozen hours later, which is exactly what you want. I just wish it worked more often.
It shall be done.
In its current state, Sins of a Solar Empire 2 is hard to recommend. On the one hand, it's clearly not ready for prime time, despite what its Epic Games Store page and post 1.0 version number would want you to believe. It's buggy, makes no effort to teach you how to use its huge number of very complex systems, its menus are weird and counterintuitively arranged, and there isn't even a server browser. On the other hand, all of this confusion comes on top of what is a very faithful follow-up to a beloved real-time 4X game, and developer Ironclad Games has added some cool new ideas to it on top of the under-the-hood and graphical improvements. Sins 2 can be pretty fun with a friend once you figure out how most things work and your massive fleet is blowing some poor guy's home planet to Kingdom Come, but man does it take a long time to get there. Maybe, when it arrives on Steam with the features we've been promised, Ironclad will have, ironed out all of these problems and atone for the sin of releasing it prematurely and hoping nobody would notice. For more, check out our review of Homeworld 3's campaign or our 2024 re-review of Fallout 76. And for everything else in gaming, keep it here at IGN.
An ally has lost one of their capital ships.